In 2018, five American college friends vanished during what they called their last adventure trip together. Their names were Emma Miller, Jason Carter, Mia Johnson, Tyler Brooks, and Chris Lopez. They had graduated that summer and wanted to celebrate with something unusual. Instead of going to beaches or cities like everyone else, they decided to explore an abandoned mining town in Colorado that Jason had read about on an old forum. The town's name was Black Hollow, a place erased from modern maps after a series of strange deaths in the early 1900s. Locals avoided it completely, but for these five, it was exactly the kind of creepy thrill they wanted. Emma brought her camera, planning to film the trip like a travel vlog. That camera was later the only thing ever found. On June 14th, the group drove into the San Juan Mountains. Their van was last spotted on a gas station camera at 6:48 p.m., heading toward a dirt road that cut deep into the forest. After that, no one saw them alive again. The road grew narrower as they went deeper. By 9 p.m., cell phone signals dropped. Jason laughed on camera saying, "Perfect. No signal, no parents, no rules." When they finally reached Black Hollow, the footage showed a decaying ghost town, tilted wooden houses, collapsed mine shafts, and an old church tower that leaned dangerously to one side. The wind howled through broken windows, creating a whistle that sounded almost like voices. Emma's voice can be heard whispering on the footage. "It feels wrong here." The group set up camp inside the remains of a general store. On camera, Chris joked while holding a cracked porcelain doll he found, calling it their new mascot. Everyone laughed nervously, but the mood changed when footsteps echoed outside. The footage shows Jason aiming his flashlight toward a distant house. For a split second, a pale woman in a white dress is visible in the doorway, staring. The group gasped. Emma zoomed in, but the figure vanished. Tyler can be heard muttering, "We shouldn't be here." At around 2 a.m., the camera picked up a faint bell ringing, but the church tower had no working bell. It had collapsed decades ago. The friends argued whether to leave or investigate. Chris insisted it was wind or an animal, but Emma's voice shook as she said, "Animals don't ring bells." The recording cut to chaos soon after. Loud bangs, windows breaking, and Emma screaming, "They're outside!" For less than 10 seconds, the camera captured something terrifying. Dozens of pale figures standing in a circle around the building, unmoving, their eyes glowing faintly in the firelight. Then came the sound of glass shattering, wood splintering, and the friends running into the forest. The final recovered footage is shaky, the lens catching glimpses of trees as they ran. Breathless screams, branches snapping, Mia crying, "They're following us!" The group reached their van, only to realize the keys were gone. Chris's panicked voice yelled, "I had them! I swear I had them!" The last 40 seconds are chilling. The camera lies on the ground, facing the dark forest. The friends' screams fade one by one, then silence. Finally, a pale hand picks up the camera. The lens lifts, showing the same woman in the white dress. Her mouth stretches impossibly wide, her eyes black voids. She stares directly into the camera, then static. 3 weeks later, rangers discovered the van in the clearing, doors wide open, gear untouched. No bodies were ever found. Only Emma's camera remained on the passenger seat. The official report lists them as missing, presumed dead. But locals whisper that Black Hollow doesn't let anyone leave once they enter. Even today, hikers in the San Juan Mountains claim to hear church bells in the distance, where no church stands anymore. And some say if you stand at the edge of the old dirt road at night, you'll see five shadowy figures, wandering aimlessly, searching for a way out. In 2016, three American friends went on a camping trip in the forests of Oregon. Their names were Daniel, Mark, and Alyssa. They chose a spot near an old fire road that locals warned was haunted, but they laughed it off. For them, it was just a weekend adventure. The first night was peaceful. They set up a fire, roasted marshmallows, and recorded videos for fun. But around midnight, Alyssa heard a woman crying deep in the woods. The sound was faint at first, like a whisper carried by the wind. Daniel turned on his flashlight, but the forest was empty. The crying stopped the second they spoke about it. The next night, the crying returned, this time louder, closer, almost like it was circling their tent. Mark, annoyed, grabbed a lantern and shouted, "Who's out there?" No one answered, but Alyssa swore she saw a figure between the trees, a tall, thin woman in white, her hair covering her face. When the light hit her, she vanished instantly. The three panicked, but Daniel insisted they stay until morning. By 3 a.m., the crying had turned into laughter, sharp, broken, and echoing all around them. The tent began to shake as if someone was pulling on it from every side. Terrified, they bolted into the night, running toward their car parked a mile away. They never made it. 2 days later, a ranger found their campsite abandoned. Their phones, backpacks, and food were untouched. But the strangest discovery was the tent. On the inside, written in black ash across the fabric, were the words, "Mine now." To this day, no trace of Daniel, Mark, or Alyssa has ever been found. Campers still report hearing a woman crying in those woods at night, but locals say, if you follow the sound, you'll never come back.